Hello there, Qckslvrslash here, and welcome to my new series, Sailing Skills. And this is going to be dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and it's the techniques that I and many others use to really maximize their performance in certain situations. This isn't about whether or not I'm an idiot in this game. This is specifically about how I approach an unattainable situation and really maximize what I get out of it. Now you can see myself and Lord of Face, we were engaged with a Chapayev and Kiev around this corner. And, well, I never looked at the map. I never went, hey, it looks like there's a lot of the enemy team potentially coming my way. No, that isn't something I considered. I tunnel visioned in on this Chapayev, wanting to finish him off, and I'm gonna get myself in trouble. But it's what I do once I get in trouble that this lesson is about. And the lesson and the focus of this is how to back around a corner. It's something that can be often difficult to explain to someone without good visual representation, and this game presented the perfect opportunity to demonstrate it. So I'd already sailed around the corner, I got myself in trouble. There's a Frederick de Grosse here waiting to rip me apart. Now, each time he fires, I get my bow in to try to minimize the damage I'm taking, and it's working pretty well. And on top of that, I'm really managing to get some decent damage back at the de Grosse. But the reason I keep showing so much broadside here is not to get my rear gun into play, but is actually me trying to get up to this edge of land. I recognized that I'd screwed myself. Lord of Face was laughing at me, and my buddy Oscar Mike, who had joined us in Division, was like, just get to the island, help's coming. He's got his planes coming to help me. But now that I've managed to make it to this island, I'm in a pretty safe spot. Nothing can tort me, as you can see, and this de Grosse is really going to have a hard time doing any kind of damage to me when I'm this tight into the land. You can see even the secondaries, which on that ship have decent lob, they're not doing much. So now really comes the time, and what you need to do as you back around a corner is you have to stay close to land. You want to suck ships around that corner straight into your guns. So you can see I've got my rudder to the left and I'm backing up, and all these ships are going to come sailing around trying to kill me, just giving me massive broadsides, and I'm just going to stabilize the camera because it's frantic here. I think I forgot to stop breathing at one point, which Lord of Face gladly pointed out. And you can see, now that they're not following, I've switched to stop. I really want to keep these ships in tight, and I don't want to expose myself to anything behind me. But next ship starts coming around, it's a Des Moines, I pump 2 Citadels in, and I'm just going to continue to back around, keeping my ship as well angled to the approaching target as possible. I've got a bit of help in Lord of Face, and in situations like this, often you will have teammates out on that flank to try to put sits into things coming around at you. But you'll notice I stopped shooting the Des Moines. He's not giving me a good target, he's well angled, and now I'm forced to detach myself from that land. I can't keep sucking around, too much is coming at me, and me and this Des Moines kind of just do a dance, and I'm just picking whatever target is as flat on as possible to really put damage into them. And without anything directly on my side at close range, I'm not taking tons of damage, and I'm really dealing it back. You can see I almost finished that Henry IV, but I don't manage to. So I'm just going to keep my engines astern, keep myself well angled to this Des Moines and Neptune, and just pump shells into whatever I can. And at this point, I kind of go, you know what? I'm not surviving this. Boarding stations. In these situations, get as much damage as you can, and then go down the honorable way. Unfortunately, I think that Des Moines had the ramming flag. He survives it, but you can see in chat, I'm super excited because I went in that situation with next to no chance of surviving. I fought 4 or 5 ships coming around that corner, and I managed almost 200,000 damage in a matter of minutes. So let's jump to the post-battle. And where that technique really gets highlighted is I entered that corner at about 14 minutes of gameplay with just over 45,000 damage done. By 12 minutes, I'd sunk, but I'd managed another 150,000 damage in 2 minutes, guns blazing. Now, there are Des Moines that came around the corner at me. He approached it right. He got bow on. But so many of the other ships kept trying to go out wide and get my flank, and that is where you can really take advantage of some other vessels. Even more so if you have torpedoes. And even there, 681,000 credits, Confederate, high caliber, and devastating strike. Hard to complain, and I topped the team. Really kind of showing how much impact you can have in so little time. And in this case, it was just picking whichever target was flattest onto me, keeping my bow well angled, staying as close to the shore as I could, as long as I could, and getting the damage in while I could. Now, in the end, only managed 2 kills. I almost got that Henry IV, and you'll notice I didn't really damage the Des Moines. He came around the corner, I put 1 Citadel into him. Beyond that, he was perfectly angled at me, so I was shooting other targets rather than him. I went for the ram, that's where a bunch of the damage came from, but even that didn't do a lot because he had the appropriate flags matched. And it was just a hilarious game. And when you have little techniques like this, a lot of games can be fun. And despite dying really quickly there and even sailing into it knowing I was completely screwed, I was laughing like a maniac. And I walked away with a ton of credits, a ton of experience, and just a really enjoyable experience. And it's because I got myself into protection and the enemy team chose to come around at me. Had they not, well, fine. I can sit there. I've got allies. They're going to do damage. My carrier's going to help me out. And you just wait for your opportunity to leave. But in late game situations where you're maybe 1-on-2, by backing around corners like that, you can massively embarrass enemy players who outnumber you and just rip them apart. So I hope everyone can take something away from this. For those of you who've never really tried this, hop into some training rooms with friends and just work on it a bit. Go into some co-op battles, or if you find yourself in a situation in a random battle, use the technique, and I promise you it will help you get more damage on the board and you'll have fun doing it. If you enjoyed this, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing, and as always, I'm Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.